Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Generic Garage. On today's episode, we're out here at Pick and Pull, just kind of looking for some parts, seeing what we can find. Dad said he wanted to come out and look for some things, so I decided to tag along. But after we return from Pick and Pull, we're gonna get those heads on that block because they finally showed up from the shop. And like an idiot, I totally forgot to get the bushings that adapt the 7/16 bolts to the 1/2-inch holes on the heads. So I got those ordered, waited a week, they showed up. So I apologize for the delay in the video, but we are ready to go today. So just a couple more minutes of looking around out here and we'll get back to putting that 331 together. Stick around. Well, we are out here today at Pick and Pull. Dad said he wanted to make a run, and I live pretty close by, so he picked me up on the way, and here we are. He needs some parts for his van, and we're gonna see if we don't find anything interesting for the Ranger. Maybe look into finding the missing pieces to that sway bar that I pulled off the Explorer, and maybe pick up some leaf springs too. What's perfect? What you got?
Score!
It's just sitting there?
Just sitting there.
What is it?
That is the transducer for the EGR system.
Yours blew up.
Mine burnt right there, burnt completely through because the transducer wasn't getting the signal from the solenoid to open up the valve to let the EGR pressure go out, so it all built up pressure, and inside of 6 miles it burned up.
Yeah.
Literally. Just melted.
That sounds like so much fun. I don't know if y'all know how big this place is here in San Antonio. This is Pick and Pull. So we're in the back corner of the lot here. Very far back corner. But the main building's way up there. And it's nothing but cars. And off there over to the left behind those trees is a whole nother lot. This place is massive. So many cars. Hello. What you looking for?
These.
Vacuum solenoids.
I'm just going to take the whole assembly.
Huh. So one of these solenoids is controlled.
On my van, this is the one for the EGR to open up the valve so that it bypasses, and this is the one that is not working. So I'm just going to take the whole pack and pray at least one works, because they're pretty much all the same. It's just a matter of placement and what harness to get on there.
Oh yeah, the computer controls one of them specifically for the EGR valve. All right. Well, finally some success. That's awesome. Is there a transducer on that one? Or did somebody
Transducer would be on the EGR over here.
Ooh.
Is there one over there?
It looks like somebody took it. Because that's your EGR right there. And there would be a transducer right here. Old school technology, bro.
Old school to you, but what I grew up with.
Now, a couple of y'all might be coming out to Pick and Pull to find something like a drive shaft, and I tell you, Pick and Pull would make a killing on drive shafts if they weren't
using the forklift.
if they weren't using forklifts to move all of these vehicles around. You think you find a good drive shaft, and then you turn it over just a little bit, and I swear, every single drive shaft gets bent by the forks. Bent drive shaft, bent drive shaft. You're like, oh, this one looks pretty good. Let's check it out. Let's roll it over. Bent drive shaft from the forks just right in there. That's probably the most decent one you'll find out here, actually. Actually, that might actually be, oh my God, I think we found a good drive shaft. No, it's bent, it's wobbly. Well, maybe this one's got, oh, nope. That drive shaft's screwed too. Every single drive shaft. Come on, guys. 4 bolts to get a drive shaft out. You can just set them on the shelf. Ooh, here we go. Found a 97 Explorer with a 5-liter. Look at all these rear end components we're gonna grab. I'm gonna try to grab this sway bar. I have one at the house, but it's missing one of these bars. And I think I only have one side of these. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the whole thing now. We're gonna grab this, all that. We're gonna see if we can't mount all that on the Ranger. Definitely want that sway bar though. Let's grab that. Ooh. 1 hour later. All right, I think we're gonna skip grabbing leaf springs for today, and we're just gonna grab this whole traction bar setup and get that fit in the Ranger. All right, well, Dad wandered off somewhere, so we gotta go find him, and then we can get out of here. Well, everyone, I'll tell you what, that was a good $40 well spent. We managed to pick up those traction bars and those trailing arms for 40 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. Those are hopefully gonna save our tires, because right now the whole truck is just swaying back and forth whenever I'm turning, and it's rubbing up against the fenders, and I'm eating tires. Those Nitto 555 G2s are not cheap, so hopefully we can spare them a bit. In the meantime, we need to get the heads on the motor. The only thing to do after that would be to throw on the timing chain cover, the oil pan, and then get ready to pull the motor out of the truck so that this one can go back in. Let's get to it. One of the things I hadn't brought up yet was the fact that we need to order push rods for this motor. And to do that, we need to know how long those push rods need to be. So real quick, here's our rocker. Here's our push rod checker. We've got a guide plate in there to make sure that the rocker can only go so far left and right. We'll probably take that off. It's interfering. It's got a little nut on there, and that's not gonna be able to screw all the way down to lock in that length. So we're probably gonna take that off. Let's see here. If you have one of these compression checkers, like I do, there we go. You're gonna find one of these little pieces in the kit. If you grab that, you grab one of these little adapters for your air chuck, you'll find that those thread together. That'll screw into the spark plug socket, and then we can put some pressure on the cylinder to keep those valves from falling in, because we need to put some lighter springs on there. If we tried to turn this motor over with the springs that are on there right now, there's a good chance we're gonna bend our push rod length checker. So we need to go ahead and swap that out real quick. So now that we have swapped out that spring and it's super easy to compress, we went ahead and marked the top of the valve stem with a blue Sharpie. And now we can take our rocker and put it on here. And put that on. And the goal here is we want to try to center that roller on the very center of that valve stem. So I think that's pretty close to the center. Yeah. And then we're going to rotate the motor around and see where the mark lies on the Sharpie on top of that valve stem. Okay, so after rotating it around a few times, we can see that the line running across there is just a little high on the valve stem, so we're going to increase the push rod length by just a little bit and see if we can't get it perfectly centered on the top of that valve stem. So once we've determined that our mark is in the middle, we can take our push rod out, come over here to the bench, and check our length here. And this is kind of a weird size, I think. Right about 6.53. So we need to find a push rod that's really close to 6.53. Holy cow, those springs were a pain to get back on there. I dropped those retainer clips a couple of times, and I had to get Mark to come in here and give me a hand. But anyways, they're all back on there. We are slowly running out of boxes of parts to put on the motor. Just a few things left. Valve cover gaskets, which I don't know that those other valve covers off the 306, if those are gonna fit on here or not. Those rocker studs are pretty tall. We'll find out. I have a sneaking suspicion we're gonna run into cross-member issues on the Ranger hitting that oil pan right there. We'll find out. Let's see, harmonic balancer and some seals to throw in. And I need to get those push rods ordered. AFR says to use 5/16 diameter, 0.12 inch wall, hardened push rods that'll work with the guide plates. So we'll get those ordered to the correct length, or at least as close as we can. And then next video, we'll get those installed. We'll get that motor pulled out of the Ranger, and we will start putting that motor in. And hopefully we don't run into too many issues. Until then, I want to thank everybody that's subscribed so far. Y'all are killing it. If you want to do me a huge favor, it's real easy. All you got to do is click the subscribe button, or click the like button, or just leave me a comment saying, hey, that's cool, or man, you suck. whatever. Really appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good week. Stay safe. Catch you next time. Bye.